two horned wyverns found in a desert zone. They are capable of burrowing into sand to attack the prey from below. Incredibly violent and proud, they are known to unleash terrible wrath when accosted. The Desert Tyrant, the apex of the wild spiral waste. This is the Diablos, the most dangerous monster you could face in the desert, save for an elder dragon. Several tons of armor, horns, and muscle make up this very territorial and very dangerous monster. But an herbivore couldn't be this aggressive and dangerous in the real world, right? Hello, I'm Professor Ginkgo, and welcome to Monsterology 101. Introduced in the first generation of Monster Hunter, Diablos quickly became an infamous and iconic monster due to it hitting incredibly hard and fast. No fancy elements, just some horns and muscle, just how they used to make it. Now, this monster is based off both ceratopsian dinosaurs like Triceratops, while having the signature tail club of Ankylosaurs. It also has interlocking armor on its back, being reminiscent of a pangolin or an Armanodosaur. Now, it stands out among the monsters of its tier due to two reasons. The first being non-elemented, while the second is it's a herbivore. The monsters it matches on the power scale tend to be carnivorous, which makes sense after all. A carnivore needs to kill in order to survive. So, an aggressive herbivore would be unrealistic, since they don't need to kill, right? Actually, no. Although there are a good amount of herbivores who would rather run instead of fight, even if they are cornered, they will fight back. It might be risky to stand on one's ground against a predator, but there are benefits for fighting back. If a predator were to be injured during a hunt, it can interfere in future hunts and cause it to starve. So an herbivore has nothing else to lose, while a predator has everything to lose. And since most animals, barring humans, aren't keen to eat something that could kill them in the long run, things like threat displays work. Threat displays work by intimidating your foe, showing that you can at least injure them and at worst kill them. And that is why pack hunters work so well. By ensuring everyone eats, they can go for more risky meals and ignore things like aggressive prey. So we know that herbivores can fight back. But are there any animals that might share the shared aggression as the Diablos? Yes, enter the hippo. Up to 4 tons of muscle, blubber, and teeth, the hippo is the second most dangerous animal in all of Africa and is only beaten out by the humble mosquito. If a hippo feels threatened, it will not hesitate to charge a threat, either by crushing its foe to death with its massive body or biting with 2,000 pounds of force. Don't believe me when I mention how dangerous hippos can be? Check out how Steve Irwin acts when he's confronted with a bull hippo by himself.
Wow! Do you see that? Now that one in front there, that's the biggest bull male. He'd be well over 20 years of age, and that's a subordinate male. And he's just making sure that that young bloke doesn't get in on his girl. Here we go.
The bull's changed focus and is starting to show aggression towards Steve.
Hey, I don't want anything to do with this, guys. And size counts. He wins. It's time for me to get out.
As you just saw, Steve Irwin looked terrified as he was on hippo territory. And this was a man who made a living dealing with dangerous animals. And this just shows how dangerous hippos are. Now, keep in mind though, both hippos and the fictional Diabloses are not malicious. Rather, it's their instincts that tell them that when they're in danger, they must fight back. They know that very few things can harm them, so they swing their weight around in order to protect themselves. Unfortunately, it's due to this that leads them into conflict with them and humanity. Rather than fearing and loathing these powerful animals, they deserve our respect. Well, hippos do. Diabloses can all burn in hell for all I care. Okay, so Diablos' aggression is actually pretty similar to real animals. But what about the black Diablos? A Diablos in heat, a black Diablos is more aggressive, hits harder, and is...
horny です。horny 本人 horny horny.
Okay, so are there any animals that might share a rage form? Well, yes. On the bright side, it's not shared on an aggressive animal like a hippo. But on the downside, it's shared on an animal much, much larger. This is an elephant must. Once a year, male elephants go into must, which is the testosterone-fueled horny rage, much like some of you during puberty. Unlike you, however, an elephant can't vent frustration by being toxic in a multiplayer game, or by looking up what it wants on the internet, because sadly, there is no elephant internet. Instead, it takes out its frustration on everything around it in a violent, destructive rage. Again, much like some of you during puberty. The reason for this is due to their testosterone levels during musth hitting around 60 times the average amount. Well, that and their pineal gland swelling slower to the leaks. It looks like it hurt, and according to Wikipedia, it feels like a toothache, but I really couldn't find a reliable source, so take that with a grain of salt. That being said, I could believe with how aggro they are. If you had intense pain for about a month, you'd be very irritable, and very irritable these animals can be. They harass the animals around them, including people, and can even kill them. And honestly, the best thing to do when elephants in musth is to get the hell out of the way, because nothing can stop an elephant in musth. Okay, so we know why elephants are like this, but why does Diablos do this? After all, if you're angry all the time, you'd think that you wouldn't be in the mood, so to speak. But if you think about it, it would make perfect sense for a monster, because a raging hulking beast would be the perfect mate to pass on your genes, if your children would share in that ferocity and help you defend to the next generation. In addition, the Monster Art book also mentioned that black Diabloses include pregnant individuals. And considering the same book also mentions that males don't help with child rearing or protection, this could also double as a way to protect the next generation. After all, nothing wants to tangle with a black Diablos, even other Diabloses, so it helps ensure that they have some protection to lay their eggs. So there you have it, a monster with a surprising amount of realism. 4 burrowing triceratops with massive wings, 2 megafauna that share the temperament and a rage form that Diablos was known for. And honestly, this just shows how much detail Monster Hunter put in their monster designs. I just love how every single monster in the game has some sort of base realism. And honestly, I could talk more about the different monsters and how they relate to real world stuff, but instead I'm just going to end with showing you how amazing this game really is. I hope you try it out, and I'll see you again next time. I also want to give a big shout out to Hanashi Reza for helping me with getting this footage. My computer kind of isn't the best for recording, so I'm glad that he was able to give me some Monster Hunter footage that I really needed. And I'm sure that he had a fun time recording.
Send help!